Now, is there such a thing as a healthier Halloween? Or should we be letting our kids overindulge during trick-or-treating? Let's ask accredited dietitian Nick Nation. Good afternoon to you, Nick.
Hello, Mon.
A Halloween haul can easily push a child past the recommended daily limit of sugars, several times over, in fact. So how do we tackle it?
So I think there's no one right way of tackling high sugar events like Halloween. Some people or some parents will choose to go with restriction. Others will use a lollies for toys type of approach. Other parents will just let their children go wild. And then other parents will just do whatever they feel like on the night or the afternoon. So I don't think there's any right way of doing it, but my top tip, my number one top tip, and it's not rocket science, just make sure you feed their bellies before they go out tonight. Make sure they're full of protein, fibre and some healthy fats, and that'll help to dilute and reduce the impending sugar hit. And then when they get home from roaming the streets, then they want to be looking at turning that, that excitement into more movement just before bed to help once again lower those sugar levels.
Well, that movement is probably like negotiating with siblings who's going to keep what out of the bags. But basically parents who allow their kids to trick or treat, they just have to accept that their kids are going to be eating lots of candy.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it harmful to a child to make a big deal over consumption?
I think it does. I think it leads to sneaking lollies and distrust, but it also can lead to shame, which is going to be even worse. So instead of doing that, I really suggest a more teachable, seen it as a teachable moment. So thinking, instead of saying, I told you so, when they're not feeling great afterwards, ask them how they feel. And then tell them, that sometimes it's your body saying to you that it's had enough. And then maybe ask them a question like, what do you think your body would like tomorrow? And do things like that.
Because it's not really just one day anymore, is it? What about the other 364 days? Because this kind of food, it used to be saved up for special occasions like Halloween and birthdays, but it's almost become the norm. Yeah,
it's a shame. And I hear stories from my kids at school about other kids' lunchboxes. The poor things have got a dietitian for a dad. Halloween isn't going, one Halloween as a one-off isn't going to harm the children at all. It's more what happens every day that really counts.
Is the so-called sugar rush really a thing?
So the sugar rush, yes and no. So yes, they do get very high blood sugar levels from eating high sugar foods. However, and then they get a subsequent real drop, and then you get the irritability, the tiredness, and the more cravings. But I think it's more about the hype of Halloween and getting excited and going out with your friends and getting dressed up.
All right, well, how do we teach eating in moderation?
The age-old question, Mon. So moderation is key. You would have heard 1,000 dietitians say it in the past. But with kids, I think it's more about those teachable moments again where, if they're eating a whole bunch of lollies, whether it be Halloween or not, or undesirable foods, teach them that there's sometimes foods and not everyday foods. Applying like a 70-30 approach where 30% of the meals are nourishing and 30% of the meals are for those events like Halloween.
Well, we appreciate the Halloween advice. Thank you for coming in, Nick.
Thanks, Mon.